Hello everyone. We're back after a 2 week break. We had our own reasons. In fact, I had my own reasons of being on this small break. I was in Dubai first, and then my partner in crime, Aayushi, she got hit by COVID. And now we're back to being consistent and a little more disciplined. So, everyone, we have people joining in. So, let me just introduce myself first. I'm Simran. I'm the founder and chief storyteller of this brand, Beginnings for You. I am a photographer and a visual storyteller. And I like to click happy, intimate, and honest pictures, and mostly keeping it very real and pretty. So that's just a little bit of intro about me. I did the last two sessions, and I pretty much got some input from everyone that hey, don't think that we are not listening. There were a few people who were listening, and they were like, we had no clue who you were. And I pretty much got to know this also, that till until I had not done this live session, a lot of people were actually not aware that there's a girl or a female behind this brand. So I thought, okay, let's just introduce myself first. And hey, Nana, girl power, thank you. So, okay, let's get on with this live session and call in my partner in crime and somebody who I really love to talk a lot about, right from life generally, and banter a lot about work. So, I'll just give me two seconds. I'll connect Ayushi. Let's see, how do I say? Yeah. Hello.
Hi.
Hello, everyone. Let me introduce you to Miss Ayushi Sachdeva.
Hi, everyone. We
Yes. So
we
let's
have quite a big audience now. Like I think since the last
21, man. It's a
21 people watching. So yeah.
jump. Okay. So yeah, firstly, Ayushi, let's introduce ourselves and let's make it, and let's not assume कि सब हमें जानते ही होंगे.
Hana, yeah, that is it. No, I assume. Why did I assume it? Obviously, I don't think that I am. Both of us, like we don't think that we are very famous or something like that. I just assumed it because we are doing it on Instagram. So, हमारी profile is connected to it. So yeah, so that's why. But okay, let's start.
Yes.
So you start because this is your life. So you start and then I'll go.
I did my question. Uh,
अच्छा कर दिया क्या?
yeah, yeah. I
Oh,
started
अच्छा.
that. So now let me
Oh.
introduce, like, set the table for you.
So I have been doing wedding photography since the last 10 years now. I co-founded a company called The Wedding Salad 8 years ago now. 8 years ago? Yes, 8 years ago. So, and so in 2012, and then in 2019-20, I took a sabbatical, like a creative sabbatical, because it had been very long, like it had been, some 8 years that I was doing wedding photography. So I decided to take a small creative sabbatical, and I think from there the topic for today comes. And apart from that, I have done my graduation in film and video design. I have a like my whole life has been just photography and film.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
So after the break, I have been working with Simran. I have been taking up my own projects as well. So this is what it is, and let's dive into our today's agenda.
Yes, आज का agenda is something which we really thought about. पिछले 2 हफ्ते के break के बाद, I was in Dubai, so I came to know when I was in Dubai that you cannot connect on Instagram or WhatsApp or whatever technical fault that Dubai has, and as an avid traveler, I have very strong opinions about Dubai now, which we can connect and talk
Apparently
about
there
some.
is a way around. So बाद में मुझे पता लगा because I was telling somebody कि oh live क्यों नहीं गए and all that. So I was telling कि अरे because Dubai में allowed नहीं है, तो apparently there is a way around.
Yeah,
Uh,
you have to find. You have, uh, like their own thing is like Dubai. I think so. In short, is like, bus they want every possible means to spend on Dubai. They'll keep every. They'll
हाँ, that you have to have your local SIM उधर तभी हो पाएगा.
yeah, buy their data, buy their network and everything. So
हाँ हाँ, वाईफाई पे नहीं
that
कर सकते.
cannot do on Wi-Fi. Yeah, so
हाँ.
that's it. And
Hmm.
after I came back, Ayushi had a big medical thing and she got hit by COVID. So how was your
We
experience?
still don't know if it was COVID because my home test was positive. My RT-PCR was negative. I lost taste and smell for 2 days.
Okay.
So don't know. But yeah, हालत was बर्बाद. जो भी हो, viral हो, COVID हो, हालत was बर्बाद.
Okay. So now finally we decided, okay, let's get back to our Friday sessions once again. पूरे
हाँ.
हफ्ते में time नहीं मिला, so I thought Friday is one day where we can actually relax and get started with the weekend, and this is one bad session which we can keep. So anyhow, coming on to the topic for today is something um much heavy on the creative side, because it was indeed for us also. We were excited on the topic so soon, but
तेरी आवाज कट गई.
okay, am I audible to everyone?
हाँ, so
Audible?
like you went mute for like 2 seconds.
Okay, fine, fine. So yeah, now the session today is talking about focusing on personal projects, and these personal projects, for everyone's information, is pretty much doing projects apart from your work, that is wedding photography.
Hmm.
So how personally, I wasn't aware that you can do something like this also, or yeah, I wasn't aware. Like after a while.
Yeah, no, that is there because sometimes we get absorbed in our work so much कि उससे बाहर भी कोई दुनिया है, वो कोई सोचता भी नहीं है. लाइक करना दूर की बात, सोचता भी नहीं है कोई.
Yeah, so firstly is like, okay, talking about this personal projects. अब Ayushi, were you in this zone कि पता था इसके बारे में कि okay, you can do stuff apart from your wedding photography and personal projects नाम के thing? Is it like my first question over here, which I in fact posted at agenda also, that should you
Yeah, I
take up?
got I got a few replies also. Okay, same, like how you're saying. Okay, like do you get time to do it? How do you prioritize
Yeah,
it and all those things?
yeah,
But the thing is, कि see, मेरे लिए थोड़ा सा different है because since from design background, I have had like formal education in design in film. And that's why I know the importance of like going away from your mainstream core subject and learning from other skills that you have, or learning from other genres or whatever you can explore. Uh, so that absorbing knowledge thing is something that has been formally that formal education has put inside me. So वो बहुत फर्क पड़ जाता है उस चीज का. तो I have been starting, say, like since the time since the inception of my career, like professionally, I have started doing it. Like wedding photography, in fact, started out as a personal project.
oh
So
yeah.
for me, like for you also, what
Yes,
are
for
you
my
saying?
different reasons. So I'll tell you how I got to know about personal
Ha,
projects. You out
ha.
first.
So, but like wedding photography for me, it just started out as a personal project, and that's why like so this is why it's so important to do personal projects. You never know how it will take you to a certain journey. So right now the personal project that I have been working on, I have been working with a friend in art department on a few web series that I cannot name right now, NDA. So So yeah, but those since the last 2 years I have been on and off working in the art department as a researcher. And it just started out as, like doing things for just broadening your horizon and opening up creatively. Same, it was a creative sabbatical and I wanted to do different things to open my, just like uh, जो ऐसे लगने लगता है कि you're stuck up in your work creatively. So that helps, like doing random things in your whatever you can explore. So abhi it started out as this, and I am so interested in, taking this forward, like trying to figure out ways to, take this forward. But uh, that's how it works with personal projects. You never know, like एक दिन का होगा, एक साल का होगा, 2 साल का होगा, या जिंदगी भर का होगा.
Yeah, and for me also personally, I have an advertising background and an extensive advertising background. ये नहीं कि 1-2 साल किया, like 5 years of advertising background where I've worked with agencies like big agencies like Ogilvy, McCann,
Hmm.
BBDO, and all of
Hmm.
these, right? So seen already this side of the creative thing, making ad films, creating all those big campaigns, and all of that
So you
stuff.
were in
So
the production side of things.
yes, I was on the production side, like generally client servicing side of the thing, where
हाँ.
who takes the beating from everywhere.
अकाउंट मैनेजमेंट टाइप्स बोलेंगे
Account
क्या उसको?
management, yeah, account
हाँ.
management, yeah. Was
हाँ.
I in fact I left advertising when I was in Ogilvy as a group account manager. So
हाँ, ये बिग डील
that
होती है ना,
it
like in
is a
advertising.
it is good enough deal. It is a good enough deal because
हाँ.
after account manager, तुम रगड़ा खा चुके होते हो जितना खा सकते हो तुम.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Like this is where you start making money and you start getting respect,
No,
right? Because advertising में you don't. Both.
advertising तुम कभी भी money नहीं बना सकते हो. You can never make money in advertising if you are there as an employee. There are other ways of making money over there, which
Okay.
let me spill the beans here. But if you are an employee at an agency, earning the kind of hours that you'll put working equal to the salary that you're getting is never justified.
Yeah, that's
The,
what that's what my question was.
yes.
Is it a stage where you start getting decent money and decent respect?
No. That decent,
Okay.
money
Okay. ठीक है.
decent
Advertising is a different ball game altogether. Yeah.
and decent respect in advertising is very subjective, very
Hmm.
subjective. Working in an agency is a very creative vibe kind of a thing over there. You have to really keep your attitude game and oh hello, I am high, because that's how that it's because it's a creative industry where you're selling ideas, right?
Hmm.
What you're selling ideas, you have to be very high and very confident about your confidence.
हाँ, true, 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 true.
हाँ, because you're selling an idea. There's nothing subjective कि ये एक साबुन.
कुछ tangible नहीं है ना. There's nothing tangible that you're offering.
It is just it's an industry which is so high on intangibility, so that because of that you have to keep your confidence level very high, and because you have to keep that confidence level high, the attitude level increases in itself, right? And there are people who have managed to sell ideas, वो एक अलग plane पे ही होते हैं. And those people don't give a damn if an account manager is standing in front of you or the agency head is standing in front of you. They don't give a
Hmm.
damn.
Oh,
So
somebody's asking, do you belong from advertising background? Yes,
who's there?
Simran. Somebody asked a question. Yes, Simran belongs from advertising background. Like before starting wedding photography, she was in advertising, and that's what she's talking about.
Yeah, so that's why a lot of my ideation process, and because I've been grilled in that environment where
Grilled is the right word.
grilled is the word, grilled is the word. Trust me. Now, when I sell ideas to my clients, or sometimes when I get client feedback, also, right?
Hmm.
That's I remember my agency days, how I was grilled by my art directors or my agency people on the creative head, on the
Hmm.
creative side. Simply ask, see, they'll ask a very simple question कि तुम बताना क्या चाहती हो? The
Hmm.
moment I'll question like कि sir, basically I want to say this, they'll be like, get out of the room. I really do not want to hear the word basically. If you're saying
Hmm.
basically, that means you're not clear in your head. I have
Hmm.
heard the moment you say basically, that
Yeah, no,
means
like I agree. When you're selling an idea or when you're just pitching an idea, also, you should have the clarity of bullet points. Okay,
yes.
ye hai, bus.
Yeah, so coming from that background, like when I left agency, it was pretty much I had reached that stage कि अगर मुझे इतने ही पैसे कमाने हैं और इतनी ही मेहनत करनी है और टाइम का तो कोई हिसाब ही नहीं है, तो मैं अपने ऊपर मेहनत करती हूँ.
Yeah, no, all of
That's
us. Yeah.
yeah. So, but I'll always credit my any bit of my creative journey will definitely get credited to my advertising days. I'll be a stronger person in an agency now, but I don't think so I have the patience for it anymore.
Okay, so coming back to
Yeah.
personal projects.
Personal projects, right? So because I came from such a creatively heavy background, when I entered photography, somehow I had a very big overdose of it. So in the first initial 2 to 3 years of my life, I did not even give any importance to it कि अरे ये भी कर सकते हैं. I was so
Hmm.
engrossed in building my own brand and building my own presence and getting work and blah 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 stuff. Whatever is this. After I think so, almost around 5 years of establishing and establishing your client work and okay, fine, I can earn from this and I can make this a sustainable business. That's when,
Hmm.
did you not, after 5 years of being into this journey all by myself, that I realized that okay, I think so I should focus on something more apart from just the regular work, because after 5 years it becoming work.
Hmm.
फिर तुम्हें लगता है कि अरे यार
Yeah,
ये तो,
that is then.
then you start realizing, that moment of realization starts hitting in, that okay, I have become a pro at taking these standard shots, right? मतलब ये स्टॉल शॉट्स तो मैं 4 शॉट में ले लेती हूँ, मोमेंट्स भी मैं कर ही लेती हूँ, सब कुछ. You just start getting more pro and efficient at getting stuff done. So that's when, like, my personal project journey actually started by me being restless and being actually proud of my work. That's
Yeah,
how.
no, I would say a lot of people who are like generally workaholics, sort of like who take up too much work. As in like workaholics will be the right word. So they start with their personal projects from that perspective only, when they get like kind of restless with the sameness of the work that they are doing,
Mhm.
uh, and especially creatively.
So
So my restlessness was from there only, that
yeah,
I am
so
doing very good work, my clients are happy,
yeah,
everything is going well, and the projects that I am doing are very good. But the thing is that I know from inside, like as a creative person, I can do more. I can create more layers in the pictures that I'm taking. I can have more depth in the stories that I'm telling. But I have hit a roadblock. And this is when I realized this. This is the time when I should be indulging into a good personal project.
yeah. No, but I'll tell you how the personal project thing hit me.
Hmm.
I Everyone knows Two Man, right? Two Man Studios, right? So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really follow them and everything. So the amount,
Hmm.
everyone's knowledge, whoever is hearing them, like Two Man does, they do these free live sessions, right? Where
Yeah, they're very good.
I can't even tell you the amount of information they spill in. Like I have learned, and I'll tell you, there was this one time, Lani and Erica, they were just doing it, and they were speaking generally about how they get inspired, like
Hmm.
people like Two Man telling us that how they. So at one of the sessions, they were saying that a lot of time when you have to direct couples, right?
Hmm.
We get stuck that okay, how do I make it look candid? Like कैसे करूँ मैं direct client को?
Huh, huh.
Right. So they said that we as creatives got hit by a roadblock with it. And they, firstly, the point is that they realize that, hey, this is a roadblock for us.
Yeah.
That is very important. And in order to hit this roadblock, how they realize that this could be done. So they were like, okay, what is it that's needed to actually direct?
Hmm.
How can you learn direction? So they were like, we wanted to teach ourselves how to direct. So what was it, ऐसा नहीं कि किसी और फोटोग्राफर के पास गए. They went to an acting school where they actually coached under a person who directs people in films.
Wow.
So how they learned directing. And I was like, that's such a unique way of learning a thing. And it really hit me that the moment you realize that, okay, this is my roadblock.
Hmm.
And for my journey, in my journey, I had realized that, I had become very average or stale at taking portraits, especially bride portraits, or, those kick-ass fashionable portraits or whatever. I wanted to take them as a creative, as an artist. I was like, yeah, I want to take those artsy portraits.
Hmm.
But
Vanity Fair.
हाँ नहीं आता है मुझे करना. तो
Hmm.
दिस वाज अ रोड ब्लॉक दैट आई फिगर्ड आउट myself कि मुझे ये नहीं करना आता है. Now
Hmm.
next, and by chance, I was listening to these guys and I heard them say this, that okay, if you're stuck with directorial stuff, it's so simple. Go find a director, see how he finds and how he directs films and actors. And I was
Hmm.
like, such a good way of learning things, such an interesting thing. So they did that. So then I realized that okay, if I'm lacking, if I want that fashion quotient or whatever, that fine artist quotient to come in my work, I should do stuff like this. So that's when I realized that okay, let's start this fashion journey. Let's start working something on these
Hmm.
lines. Connect.
Hmm.
And that's when my personal project journey started.
Yeah, no, now that you say it, I agree. That same what I was saying, that when once you know,
Yeah.
first step is to realize it. Realize करना ही सबसे बड़ा step है. Once you
Yeah.
realize it, then you look in that direction कि किधर जाना है exactly. Like you were stuck with posing. I was stuck with my storytelling. My
Hmm.
storytelling, I felt that it lacked a little more, like I felt that it could have more depth, and my stories, like the photos that I'm taking or the visuals that I'm making, can have more layers in terms of that storytelling. So this is what I felt that I was lacking. And working on these web series that I have been working on, the last web series that I worked on is going to maybe release sometime end of this year, or maybe start of next year. So it was directed by Vikramaditya Motwane, and I was on set like all the time for that series, and I have learned much, so much, in terms of framing it, and telling stories in terms of आगे कुछ और चल रहा है और पीछे सेटिंग में तुम्हारा पूरा, like the setting that is there in behind is telling something else, and it is foreshadowing for another scene. Once the series gets out, I can talk more in detail, in depth about it, about my learnings from it. And especially the sets that we've been designing. So Mukund Gupta is the production designer and Vahi Sheikh is the art director. I have been working under both of them. So the type of layering these guys do in their storytelling, मतलब डायरेक्टर ने कुछ सोचा, पहले तो राइटर ने कुछ सोचा है, फिर
One
डायरेक्टर ने कुछ
example.
सोचा है. हाँ.
Just one.
So see, there is a scene where like two people are meeting. Okay, for example, I really can't talk about the story and all that.
But people are meeting.
NDA.
That's it.
हाँ.
How do you design it and layer it and whatever? Like just to give a
See,
better context.
पहली बात तो एक स्टोरी पूरी एक राइटर ने सोची है, ठीक है. उसके बाद डायरेक्टर ने उसको विजुअलाइज किया है, ठीक है. अब the art department wala kaam na, I didn't know, and I don't think anybody knows that amount of layering that these guys add. मतलब with the जैसे जो भी scene चल रहा है, okay, there is बीच में randomly there is art behind which is foreshadowing for some other scene which will come ahead. And like small details, if you see if you see Patal Lok season 1, and because it's by the same production designer. Huh?
Give us a scene context. I mean, I'll be able to visualize and understand it better.
Okay. So, इफ यू रिमेम्बर दैट सीन जब हाथीराम चित्रकूट में भाग रहा होता है, एक चेस सीन है जब वो अपना बैग देके ऐसे एक वेंडर खड़ा हुआ होता है रास्ते में और अपना बैग फेंक के जाता है कि संभाल के रखियो मैं जा रहा हूँ, और वो चेस सीन में आगे जा रहा होता है. ठीक है, दिस इज द स्टार्ट ऑफ हिज यू नो लाइक जर्नी ऑफ फाइंडिंग आउट हाउ बिग दिस केस इज एक्चुअली, राइट. सो वो जिस वेंडर को फेंक के जाता है ना अपना बैग, वो दांत का वेंडर है. ठीक है, ऐसे ही सड़क पे जो दांत लगाने वाले नहीं होते, वो जबड़ा बनाने वाले होते, वो उसको फेंक के जाता है. सो यू नो लाइक दैट मेटाफर कि वो अब उसको समझ में आएगा कि इस स्टोरी के एक्चुअली दांत कितने बड़े हैं.
ओके,
कि
दैट्स
जो
नाइस.
ये केस जो है ये दिख कुछ और रहा है, पर अंदर से इसके हाथी के दांत दिखाने कुछ और खाने कुछ और वाला सीन है.
ओके.
So like so many metaphors which you know like subconsciously play in your head when you see it. और डिजाइन करते वक्त तो यार इतना मजा आता है.
Nice. More of brain work over here, and actually,
Lots of brain work, and I have realized how I have
I
imbibed all these learnings in my work now, because after working with these guys, after seeing them work in action, all these guys, you know, I shot weddings last year and also this year also, after you know being on set after for a very long time and working with these guys. मेरी स्टोरी टेलिंग इतनी रिफाइन हो गई है in terms of you know when I'm shooting. Yeah, so you know like I try to incorporate small things which I wouldn't see otherwise. And you know like pehle I would just shoot whatever you know is in front of me, but sometimes I try to make the setting thoda thoda idhar udhar karke aur cheeze idhar udhar karke, which adds on to the story.
I do that so much now. Like, I have stopped.
Exactly.
I've
And
stopped.
it makes so much sense when you do it, because you know like thoda alter kar lo, like if it's giving more meaning to your story.
I have stopped calling myself a candid photographer anymore. I'm as planned one can be.
No, I
I
wouldn't
plan.
say planned or candid, ये सब चीजें नहीं, but I feel like our storytelling has become a little more refined now. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
What's happened to your internet, Baba?
Disconnected just like that. I don't know why. I'll connect Ayushi once again. Okay, let me see. Why hasn't she come on board? Why is this happening? Except, okay, fine. Accept. Accept. I'm accepting. I don't know why are you not being. I'm not able to accept your request. Accept. Accept. Um. Okay, let me just do this once again. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, finally.
Finally. क्या हुआ था?
I don't know. I was just talking and it just vanished. Like cut.
मुझे याद भी नहीं अब हम क्या बात कर रहे थे.
We
हाँ,
were
refined storytelling.
refined.
Storytelling.
Yeah.
हाँ So, like, just to give a preview of what we were talking about, like how different experiences of our personal projects refine our storytelling, and how like personal projects should be done with a goal in mind, uh,
Yeah.
which we they'll be better fruitful. That's what we have discussed so far. And while I was saying that, I have realized that my storytelling has refined a lot after working on set with Vikramaditya Motwane and Mukund Gupta, like my production designer and all these guys. Ashish, mera editor hai, wo jo, like who edits for me my wedding photos. He messaged that I have noticed it. He's the only one who sees all the work,
Or
entire work that
uh,
I shoot. So yeah, like that means a lot coming from him.
seriously.
Yeah. So
Uh, so yeah,
hmm,
now coming to topic, like okay, we have been informed, like because we come from those backgrounds. Like I come from an advertising background. You come from like a very photography, film educated background, right?
hmm,
So aware that okay, these are the outlets that you can choose from. But
exactly.
generally, what are the personal project genres that people can choose from? I think so. Personal projects is a very good way to start your photography journey, also. So
Exactly. Like that's how it started for me, and I think it started for you also that way.
या मेरे लिए तो ऐसा था कि ओके एडवर्टाइजिंग से मैं बहुत थक गई हूँ एंड आई एम लाइक आई वांट टू शूट आई लाइक क्लिकिंग पिक्चर्स एंड ठीक है आई वाज वेरी अवेयर कि मुझे फैशन नहीं करना है मुझे एडवर्टाइजिंग नहीं करना है क्योंकि इसी दलदल से मैं निकली हूँ अभी आई डू नॉट वांट
Huh.
टू डू आई एम अ
Yeah.
पीपल
No.
पर्सन या
Wedding
एंड आई
photography, especially, yeah, it started as a personal project for me. Because I came out of college and didn't know what to do. Didn't know what my niche is exactly. So I just started doing weddings. Like just shot a friend's sister who was getting married, another friend's sister who was getting married,
हाँ तो
purely out of creating art. That's it. No intention of doing weddings. This is back in 2010, 2011. So तब
बट अपार्ट
wedding photography कुछ इतनी बड़ी चीज भी नहीं थी.
yeah, but apart from this, I think so. For me, when I had reached a certain level with my brand and with my work, like work also, money's का तो पता नहीं अभी, but yeah, work is there. So like there was something that I personally made a decision about. I made a conscious decision of getting back to fashion.
Hmm.
But fashion also, it was very conscious that I want to be editorial fashion, not core fashion. So that's how once I decided in my head that I wanted to do editorial. So the genre of personal projects that I really chose was also, and this was a very conscious decision. I wanted personal projects also that reflected weddings in it. uh, like you do a
Hmm.
lot of like, and I researched it online. Like internationally there were a lot of style shoot which were happening where all the wedding vendors used to get in together, like some florist, some decorator, some designer, and all of that stuff. So when I started researching all of this online कि भाई कैसे कैसे personal projects कर सकते हो, or probably how can I get more fashion shoots, that's the question that I asked myself. In my head, I was like, okay, I'm bad with, or I'm very average, or I'm getting redundant with my posing game, especially for brides or portraits or whatever. So, okay, fine, I
Hmm.
need to learn portraiture fashion photography or
Hmm.
portraiture photography in general. Once I realized that, then I was like, okay, how do I do this now? For that, it's simple. You got to shoot more stuff like that. So
Hmm.
then I realized, okay, that let's do some fashion photography, which is more of editorial stuff, not kadak
Hmm.
fashion. एकदम चमका के 11 पे शूट करते हैं and
No,
stage.
I agree. I would say your journey into this personal project of shooting fashion is because like it's very inspired by the kind of stories you tell.
Yes. So, and no, probably it's vice versa. So once I decided that कि अच्छा ये वाला करना है, then I started reaching out people. कि okay, like I'm from Chandigarh, so I reached out to a few designers. That's how it actually started for me. like once I decided that okay, this is the genre of, I decided that I want to do editorial fashion photography.
हाँ.
But actually for people, like for our audience, like what are the genres of personal project that they can choose from? This is what I decided for myself. Apart from that, I think so you can choose purely portrait, like just
It
headshots.
totally depends on what. मेरे हिसाब से तो मैं personal projects जब भी करती हूँ ना, so it is always, you know, like A, boredom, or B is whatever I want to improve on. So if you remember, during lockdown I was shooting a lot of food that my mother was
Oh,
making, and a lot of
that's
flowers that I was finding around my house, because my house in Ludhiana is in outskirts. So there's lots of greenery, and I was finding a lot of dried flowers and dried plants and dried leaves. So I realized, during that time, that my flat lay game is getting a little off. You know, सेम चीजें वही जो मतलब काम करती हैं obviously, but I am just doing the same things again and again, and I would really, credit those 6 months of creating pure personal work. I have not done anything from those photos apart from posting them on Instagram and making people
oh,
feel hungry all the time. But just to preview it to you guys over here, thoda sa. But
oh
sorry.
God, this time, like I don't want to remember COVID, but these flat lays and auntie ka khana was something which everybody was like, हमारा एक chat group बन गया था कि आज क्या बन रहा है.
Exactly. And this was purely just because I want to improve my, flat lay game, and also like I want to do, different stuff, and improve
Wow,
on my lighting and all that.
so nice. ये मैंने तो देखा हुआ है पूरा. I'm like,
Yeah, no, just trying to, like give context to what I'm saying.
what personal projects can be like.
Exactly. So this improved my styling, this improved my compositions from the top, and generally, improved my compositions of static subjects. So
Hmm.
like with, working with moving subjects, you can literally, experiment a lot, because they keep responding to your instructions. But with static subjects, you have to keep moving them.
Hmm. मेरे लिए तो I think so shooting static subjects is like being in a zen mode now. When I have to shoot something that is static, I'm so much that's another level of calming me down now, because the kind of zone in which we are always in is like so much action idhar udhar bhag rahe hain sab. So whenever I have to shoot something that is not moving and doing this static lay flat stuff, I breathe. It's my zen mode. I'm happiest when I have to do that.
Hmm.
So yeah.
No, I would agree that that is the zone I go into when I'm doing flat lays. But thoda, to do new things, I feel कि this exercise of 6 months of doing this, like just shooting my mother's food, and it wasn't never like previously decided कि चलो आज ये बनाएंगे तो ये backdrop, ये styling, ऐसा नहीं मैं बैठ के Pinterest boards बना रही हूँ. She will say सुबह, like I will ask her सुबह कि आप क्या बनाने वाले हो, मैं ये बना रही हूँ, and it is halfway there, okay, and then I will take whatever she's made and I will quickly style it, because people are hungry, they are waiting for the food. It's not made for my photography pleasure, it's made for
Yeah,
consumption. Okay, so I just have like 10-15 minutes to shoot it and give it to them, because they want to eat it. Yeah.
yeah, that's an interesting perspective of what all topics that you can use for personal projects. मेरा तो like I was very focused कि मुझे यही करना है. When I
हाँ.
decided to take up personal projects, I was like बस like is it worth my energy? Is it worth my time? Okay, बाद में करके देखते हैं. But firstly, I
Hmm.
decided to improve this thing. So let's see how we can do it. The best way to improve things is just go ahead and do it. You'll do it 10 times, 100 times. By 100 time, तुम कुछ ना कुछ सही करने लग जाओगे. That's my
I
learning process. So
really,
once I
sorry to
realized कि
interrupt
चलो
you, but I really love this personal project of
this,
yours.
yeah, this was like, oh my god, this was a style shoot only. This was purely a personal project.
I
What
really love
level
it.
of planning this took.
And मतलब मैंने
And
कितनी
in my
बार
head,
सोचा है कि doing it in these पंजाब के पुराने railway stations, because being a history buff myself, this is too
yeah,
close to my heart.
same here, same here. So this designer and this whole team, everyone in the team was like, so between me and Ayushi, we
This
follow so,
is too
yeah.
much, like this frame.
This was my this was almost my fourth or fifth style shoot, fashion shoot that I took up. So this is after 4 shoots.
But this is like etched in my dimag. जब से तूने मुझे इसके photos भेजे थे, so like for context, whenever we are doing any personal projects, we are obviously like with this just too much excitement in life, so we keep like sending each other कि oh we are doing this, we are doing that. So yeah, that's what it is. See the
It is,
flat lay over here. Listen, that's why I did that exercise of 6 months, because I just can't think like this.
I have taught
नाउ आई
myself
कैन
this.
नाउ आई कैन ऑब्वियसली, बट उस वक्त ऐसे हो गया था कि मेरा ब्रेन स्टॉप आ गया था.
ये भी like taking it also was like pretty much a brainstorm moment for me because I just got so bored clicking like जो लहंगा अलग ले रही हूँ मैं, ज्वेलरी अलग ले रही हूँ, जूते अलग ले रही हूँ, like इतना टाइम भी
दैट
नहीं है मेरे.
वाज वो तो अब मेरा हो गया है.
हो गया है, that zone is gone.
हाँ हाँ. एंड ऑल्सो लाइक व्हाई वुड यू डू इट?
So
वेयर आर योर अदर पर्सनल प्रोजेक्ट्स?
personal
जस्ट
मैंने अभी just got the courage that okay let me showcase my
एंड
personal project.
ऑल्सो आई डोंट नो इफ यू treat this as a personal project, but
This I do.
documenting your own son and your husband, I feel this is a personal project in itself. The storytelling in this whole set is
Yes.
मतलब ऐसा लग रहा है कि मैं फैन गर्लिंग कर रही हूँ यहाँ पे, पर मतलब just like since we are talking about your personal projects, I would really like to highlight these things because this is what I really like.
And this was pretty much savvy telling तुम सबकी फोटोज खींचती हो, हमारी नहीं खींचती हो. कोविड में अब तुम्हारे पास बहाना नहीं है कि मैं शूट में हूँ, मैं
Obviously, he's
एडिटिंग में हूँ,
correct.
खींचो हमारी फोटो.
But this was needed. But this is, like, it is a personal project that should keep continuing. You should keep doing it.
Personal projects तो अभी I haven't. This one, the way you see this, you see this girl in a gown, this was also a personal project.
ये वाला.
This is
हाँ,
a
correct.
bride, her own fashion line. So this was
This is Mansha,
purely,
right?
yeah, this is Mansha. She started her own fashion line of gowns.
मैं
So
बोल रही हूँ ना, मेरे को तो अभी रट गए हैं लोग. चाहे मैं मिली नहीं हूँ इनसे, चाहे मैंने इनकी वेडिंग शूट नहीं की है, पर मुझे रट गए.
और wedding related काम है. अभी fashion personal projects तो there are almost 6 personal projects that have never seen the light of the day on my Instagram account. So with this, the latest railway one is also which I finally thought, because again we are in that creative red, oh this isn't good enough. This railway one was like, yeah, this is me. Yeah,
No, that
bro.
is gold. That is gold. You shouldn't have thought twice about it.
And I did it a year ago. By this
But
whole
how
team.
did you, like now, just to give context, how did you go about planning, for example, the railway one? Planning it, and also how about going styling it? जैसे मतलब railway station पे क्यों करना है और उस तरीके की चीजें.
I'll be very, wasn't my idea. Take credit for it. The main this girl, she's a designer based, and one of those very few designers who really want to take up that story angle for her outfits. Otherwise mostly fashion that I've connected with it from my agency days, now lately also when I'm trying to connect with fashion photographers or maybe fashion, they are very high. This is my model, this is my cloth, that's it, full stop. Uske aage piche, they do not even want to invest their energies in. That's how focused that I see. So Kulvinder was one of those designers who I really felt that she really wanted to give that heart in her outfits and stories. So this was her idea, because all of us connect with Pakistani photographers and their vibe and their storytelling. We both know how much we love Hashim Ali.
Hashim Ali and Iman.
Iman, yeah. Hashim Ali and Iman. And I don't know, I'm a very big fan of this Pakistani photographer, Shayank Sherwani. There's
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I love
There
his
are
photography.
lots of them, yeah, and creating such good work. So coming to that, just like being of liking somebody's aesthetic, and that could also be a very good topic for personal projects, because
Yeah.
you are connecting with somebody's aesthetic, connecting with somebody's style, and you want to imbibe it in your, in your way. ऐसा नहीं कि copy करना है, but you want to like just absorb it in your own style. So
Hmm.
this one project that I would want to show of mine, you know this was very much inspired by a shoot that ईमान का एक shoot था.
Oh, Vahi. I know
हाँ.
we were talking
ये मेरा permanent subject है, but yeah.
Vahi is such a good
So
someday.
this shoot was inspired by Iman's shoot, her aesthetic, and obviously Hashim to is our favorite only. But this was like just a lazy afternoon.
And this was done on your vacation in Goa. Just tell
Yeah.
people,
No,
right?
but
That
we planned it. We
you
planned
planned.
it. There was one suitcase of this one only had planned her whole look. She took one suitcase of like entire stuff to style it. So yeah, hats off to her and for pushing
There's
me
that
for doing this.
sari shoot also, right?
We did one sari shoot also. I think I should post it. I forgot about it. I will post it. I will post it.
ये तो चलो ठीक है, there's a good vibe, but that sari one is so good. Like, see
It
the pose,
is.
man, where the
It
hat
is.
and the looks are, just the hairstyle. I think so. I've started noticing all of this more once I started
Oh,
taking up.
this is me and mommy.
Acha, you did the video also. Tirhan,
I did
yeah.
the video also, and obviously I can't, when I see it I can't stop myself. So yeah, but ये बस इसीलिए था because I was inspired by somebody's aesthetic, somebody's style, and that's why I went for it.
And that's what I think so. As creative artists, also, everybody is. It's an open fact. We follow everyone. Everybody's on everybody's watch list, right? And हम लोग को भी
Exactly.
in our hearts, all of us think, yaar, mujhe bhi, I so wish if I could also do this. Fashion shoots and doing these personal projects was pretty much like, giving up on that wish list and finally doing it. This railway shoot was pretty much all of us being like it, that, guys, let's just do it now. We'll find a railway station.
Hmm.
We'll find, like, being in Chandigarh has its own advantages. You can never do such a stuff in Delhi. You just
Yeah.
right. So I can only say that I was lucky from that point of view, but
Hmm.
having to manage the shoot was something very tough. Like, telling you about the real logistics about this. So Kulvinder had this idea,
Sorry,
and she was like,
this is your
"This is my
sari shoot.
village, and wahan par." Oh yes, everyone.
I just found it,
Yeah,
and I'm yeah.
yeah,
So
man. See that hair?
this was a
Oh,
very nice house that we were vacationing in, and that's why that this house inspired the shoot
yeah,
actually. And then we saw Iman's shoot and we were like, yeah, we should like do something on those lines.
nice, very good, full frame, 5 mm.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
my style
And this
first.
is all her clothes, huh? And she took all of this with her and styled herself. This is her hairstyling and everything, makeup and all that. Like,
Very nice.
huh.
And
So
so
having such muses also helps.
this part of this journey on WhatsApp groups and like being video calls पे कि देख मैं ये कर रही हूँ.
And this shot was inspired by you. Your
हाँ, ये
trademark shot. Your
I
trademark shot.
and what good time.
Yeah. Okay, continue your
हाँ, ये
huh.
रेलवे स्टेशन वाला भी जो शॉट, it's almost my fourth shoot with Kulvinder, and she
Hmm.
just said like in we generally are from Punjab, so we'll talk in Punjabi only. And Kulvinder is like, oh,
Hmm.
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਸ਼ੂਟ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇੱਕਦਮ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਵਿੰਟੇਜ ਟਾਈਪ ਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਮੈਂ ਨਾ ਉਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ੂਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ। ਲਾਈਕ ਓਕੇ, ਕਰਨੀ ਕਰ ਦਾਂਗੇ, ਰੇਲਵੇ ਸਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਲੱਭੋ।
Hmm.
Somehow we were able to find a railway, and because she had a village away from Chandigarh where she hailed from, we were able
Huh.
to the station which had the aesthetic. But somehow when we went over there, we got to know कि, uh, what's that noise? Okay, we actually got to know कि यहाँ पर रेलवे स्टेशन ऐसे allow shooting allowed नहीं है, which is very standard
You're
in
not allowed to. You have to have like permission and all.
permissions and all of that stuff. So you won't believe this shot, this model, and both the models, they're very well known models in Chandigarh, and they are there. Right, and that's the advantage of having models like Piche Kulvinder and her husband and the makeup artist. They are actually talking to the ticket master and these two models, and I'm sneakily shooting. So this, the first pose that you see is like pretty
Hmm.
much Kulvinder, her husband, and everyone talking to the TT telling, okay, why don't you just stand over here? Let's take this shot in 2 minutes. It is actually just 2 minutes with
This is what we are talking about,
this
right?
shot. Yeah, this is pretty
The
much
whole setting ऐसा लग रहा है कि तूने की है.
suitcase वहां पर रखे हैं.
Oh, अच्छा, okay. So you've done it.
We've done it very purposely. Suitcase रखे हैं वहां. By the time we placed the suitcase, TT came in. क्या की हो रहा है इधर? इतने allowed नहीं है. Permission कितने है थोड़ी? And all of that stuff. And
Hmm.
because the models, so we really connected quickly in our eyes. I was like, just stand here. That's it. By the time
Hmm.
shouting, whatever, figuring this out, I'll be done with my shot. This was when they were shouting. So bahar, ye wala. This
Hmm.
is a 2 minute shot, which was not planned at all, but I saw the frame and I was like, damn, let's do it.
And good,
So
you included this detail also.
I want this matlab, technically for people who are watching, if you're at a railway station, if you do not have permission, this should have been photoshopped out. But it is like a 1.5 year, almost a year old shoot. So I was like, okay, let's just go ahead and do it. It's like here you
Hmm.
see I chopped it out.
हाँ.
So for one, इससे पीछे वाले frame पे जाओ. Like before, yeah, so you see there are no railway details. You see that pink one?
Hmm. हाँ.
So for everyone, just whoever is listening, technically, if you are shooting at such a location, you should not be adding all of these details. You might get into trouble. So
No, I would say like go for it, because if you're not
हाँ,
doing these details, then क्या
yeah,
फायदा?
क्या
And
फायदा?
what is
But
this location?
this is again lucky,
वही
being
रेलवे
lucky.
स्टेशन के पास में है.
रेलवे स्टेशन नहीं है, रेलवे स्टेशन से ही आगे there is a village where you have this old structure. So we
Hmm.
wanted at this gumbad जो अंदर वाला है, we wanted to shoot
Hmm.
over there. I
अच्छा.
purposely thought chose to shoot over here because again my style of shooting first is taking that one good 35 shot where
Yeah, no,
sub
having an establishing shot helps in
yeah.
storytelling.
So we started from here and then there was
Right.
very good light. I was having these greens. This girl was like, I got spoiled a little bit because this girl was Aditi Arya. She's the model, and damn good with modeling. Damn good. Like when we started talks with this shoot, so
Hmm.
this was
No,
she
she
was a
is good. She is good.
yeah, she was a paid model for this shoot. And when Kulvinder, she actually connected with me that Aditi is going to come on board. She said that Aditi is paid for it and she'll be on board for only half an hour. I practically called up Aditi and begged her that Aditi, can you please do it 5 minutes? I'll tell you how professionally, how these fashion models work. They were like, Simran, you're a sweetheart. Fine, I'll give you 45 minutes, but you haven't worked with me. Trust me, after half an hour, if you're good with your job, you'll be done with your shots. I was like, okay, that's good. So she was like, I'm
So
okay.
I would agree. Yeah.
She's like, I'm a professional over here, so I know that I'll be able to do my job in half an hour. But
Hmm.
but let me give this thing written to you that if you know to do your job, half
Yeah.
an hour is when both of us is enough for us.
Hmm. No,
And
I agree. If this was done in 45 minutes or something, this is
whole shoot was
oh,
done.
हाँ,
our
और
match,
मतलब काफी wholesome है यार. Like the result from it is very wholesome. Like
right
you have
from it.
different
We
kind of
started at the
settings. You have a good set of, you know, solo portraits, and then like it
yeah,
segues to a good field shot. Like this is a very good field
but
shot. So and
moment.
then you know, you go to this different location, and so nice.
Uh,
And then you have this good shot of the next location. So yeah, I feel मतलब काफी wholesome shoot है ये for 45 minutes.
it was this was totally in 1.5 hour, I would say. 45, it was supposed to be a 45-minute shoot because the railway station shoot got conked off totally.
Hmm.
It was
Hmm.
everybody, I knew what I have shot, but the team was like, it was supposed to be just the railway shoot only. But
Yeah.
then that happened ki permission kithe hai and all of that stuff. I was shooting
Yeah.
पूरा mode में. I was shooting completely. Me and these two models, we were on के तुसी लड़े जाओ, ਆਪਾਂ ਤਾਂ अपना काम करी जा रहे हैं.
No, this has turned out to be so nice. Like this shot is
It
so pretty.
it wasn't planned. Actually, it wasn't
Ha.
planned. We had planned only for like and I had agreed to this project. This was like completely a free of cost shoot for me. I did not charge a penny. The only thing I charged for this was hey, I'm coming from Delhi. I don't have any more personal projects. I'll post more.
हाँ मैं वही ढूंढ रही हूँ यार. No,
Oh,
this one is there na. This one is there. What are you saying? Yeah.
this wasn't a personal project, but this was
Ah, this is
like
a
a
commercial sort of a shoot. So
commercial.
yeah.
I got paid for it only because I had done 5 to 6 almost. We'll talk about this paid or free later, but this came
No, we can segue into, you know, like paid and free, because you did 5 style shoots for free,
five
and then you started getting paid for it. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying earlier also. Like, you know, doing personal projects helps you in creating another line of income, another line of working also. Like you were doing weddings pehle, happy doing weddings
yes.
and getting paid for it, but then you start doing a different thing. Obviously you want to create portfolio for it, and portfolio is doing personal projects. So you did like 5 projects and created a good set of photos which you can showcase to other brands or whatever, you know, you collaborations that you want to do, and then you start getting paid. So this is a good segue into getting, you know, like paid and
Yeah.
free.
For me, I think so. It was mostly pay wise. I'm yet to crack that level, but this project person for me pretty much do the job for keeping me entertained.
While you're saying it, I'm just going to showcase the photos of this shoot.
Yes. This
Huh.
was also like this was again a very interesting designer, Rida, who's based out of
Oh, the tassels.
yeah. So all of this is like doing all of this again and again and again when you really start honing your work. I did one fashion shoot
Like I would not expect anybody else to take this detail. Anybody. Like मेरे को ऐसा
on
नींद से उठा के भी पूछ लो ना कि ये फोटो किसने लिया होगा. I would say this is yours.
this has pretty much come from doing these fashion shoots, which
हाँ.
paid me much,
Sorry.
have not paid me much, but have inadvertent, like knowingly or unknowingly, has really affected my wedding photography work. I'll tell you very.
Exactly.
I did. I did this shoot. This girl is from Patiala, a very
This
famous.
girl, the model.
Yeah, so she's only the designer and she's only the model. So
Acha.
Rida
Oh, Rida.
Harman
Acha.
is the girl. She owns the brand Rida, who's based out of Patiala, and they do
Huh.
very everyday wear Punjabi suits.
Yeah, these
Like
are pretty much
huh,
that vibe only.
very nothing flashy, but just everyday wear and all of this stuff. So this shoot was pretty much entirely styled and conceptualized by me also.
Hmm.
So Rida was like, these are my shoots, just do whatever you want to. I need her only brief was I will be the model and I need to shoot 6 to 7 shoots in one day. I cannot extend it for another day or so. So this whole shoot was pretty much styled and conceptualized, and location Harman found for us. Um, that way, again, this has been done in Chandigarh. I'm lucky that I hail from there. Finding locations in Chandigarh is very easy. So yeah,
Oh, Rida's entire feed is your photos.
this was her latest collection.
Ah,
So
beautiful.
story how style shoots help you. So I did this shoot, which was after almost doing 4 to 5 completely non-paid shoots. This was almost the first shoot that I could charge a certain sum for, only because I had done 5 free fashion shoots and I had a portfolio to showcase. So I did this shoot. Then a very famous photographer, fashion photographer from Chandigarh, who goes by the name Tanya Grewal. She
Hmm.
spotted my work through this thing, and Tanya helped me land one wedding of her friend, which was pretty much a showcase wedding for me last year. That was a wedding where I was shooting and HOTC was shooting, and
I know that wedding. Let me find it here because I know that wedding.
it, it's a reel. It's yeah, this one, Armana and Gurjot. Go down.
Yes.
Yeah.
यही है ना? Oh
नहीं नहीं,
नहीं,
ये
this
तो
is Sharika. Sorry.
शायद ऊपर नीचे 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 स्क्रॉल डाउन. हाँ, ऊपर 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 ऊपर, एज इन
Did I
डाउन.
miss it?
ऊपर है और ऊपर है. इट्स मोर अपर द ग्रिड.
Oh.
Upper, upper, or. Yeah, this one, the green lehenga one.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
this was the wedding. So this was it.
Yeah.
So I got this food only because of this time done for Rida.
हाँ.
Because Tanya is friends with Armana. Tanya Grewal is a very well-known fashion photographer from Chandigarh. So she spotted my work at Rida's shoot, and then Armana was looking for a wedding photographer who's based out of Chandigarh. Tanya told Armana that, hey, look, this girl is so good on aesthetics, and she did this nice fashion shoots. Armana called me up. We hit it up really nicely. There was such a good vibe check over there, and
Hmm.
we ended up shooting it. We ended up shooting it with HOT.
No, that was your journey was for, like from a personal project and leading up
Hmm.
to a very good paid project.
Yes. And you should tell about that now. There's such a good style shoot that you did with Bahi, the Brides of India one. Where is that?
वही के साथ Brides of India. No, I did
Bahi
it with Tasir, with this, with
Tasir.
Tasir.
That was such an
हाँ.
interesting style.
It was an interesting, like, let me pull it up. But हाँ, ढूंढना पड़ेगा. बहुत पहले किया था वो.
But that was a very good
Oh,
style
found
shoot.
it. Wait.
At the time, but not very many people were doing it. Yeah, this shoot.
So in today's edition of Sabby's comments, this white shirt is his. That's what he's saying.
This is my. This will also become a thing. Sabi and his comments on every live session.
That's what I said now. In today's edition of Sabby's comments.
Yeah, this was a style shoot
Uh,
which I pretty much wanted. It's a personal favorite of mine of what
this is
Ayushi
one
has
of the
done.
first few personal projects that I did, and so this was done with India, which is Wedding Brigade now, or Wedding Brigade की जो पहले co-founder थी Devika Patel. So she had actually conceptualized this, and along with her, I had like worked with her on it, and she had planned a lot of like. अभी मेरे पास इतने सारे photos नहीं because this was back in 2016 or 15. I don't even remember.
And
So
something where you did it when not very many people had thought of it also. Now it has
yeah,
become.
yeah. So this was back in 2015-16. We posted a lot of photos then from this, but yeah.
But coming to this, like we've told people like the level, the kind of style shoots they can choose from, and what are the thing. Now we've given them very live examples, but I think so the biggest challenge, which till date I find, is finding your team, finding your tribe or whatever your vibe kind of people, because all of these
Huh.
styles and personal projects make an impact only if everybody is on the same platform. Like railway station wala shoot jo tha, like trust me, I could only do that because all of us had that vision in our mind ki, okay, this is how
Hmm.
it turn out. When they saw the pictures, everybody was like, yes, इसके लिए हमने मेहनत की थी. It's okay. This is so. How do you find people? That's like, do you have a formula over there? Like I have a formula.
I have a formula. I would say, like, when I want to do any personal project, something like if there is a concept that in my head, or if that I want to execute, or I just want to do it for the sake of it. If I have a concept in my head, I go and find people with similar aesthetic, and I just shoot DMs. I just shoot WhatsApp messages के भाई interested हो interested हो interested हो interested हो. कोई तो जवाब दे देता है यार, because everyone is dying to do, like, good work. तो कोई तो जवाब दे देता है. So, like, for example, I recently did this shoot literally because I had this concept in my head for a very long time, and this
That
is this one.
oh
एंड
yeah.
बस ये लिटरली इसको मैं बता रही थी इसके बारे में, एंड शी इज लाइक करना है क्या. आई एम लाइक हाँ. और वन संडे फॉर लाइक जस्ट 1 hour वी वेंट टू द बीच एंड वी डिड इट.
Nice.
ये मतलब यू नेवर नो, यू कीप पिचिंग योर प्रोजेक्ट्स टू पीपल एंड समडे यू विल फाइंड योर साथीज.
Hmm.
अगेन
इसकी
शी डिड द स्टाइलिंग फॉर दिस.
This is pure portraiture, like
Pure and like
portraiture. This is
storytelling with your portraits.
done till now. My personal project journey has been purely on editorial fashion bit only. Probably this is also something which I don't know. Let me see if I have the time to explore this. Editorial. पहले. मैंने तो देखा हुआ है ये, so I love
No, I'm just
this.
showcasing it. So yeah. हमारी हमारी फीड्स तो हम दोनों को रटी हुई है एक दूसरे की. So it's not something that
Pearl, that pearl makeup was something which was so good in this one. Just
So
little.
pearl makeup thing, I had seen a photo, some similar photo on Pinterest, and I showed it to her कि अरे like this is what I have in mind, and develop करते we ended up on a beach with a sari, with a see-through sari, and like pearls, छोटे pearl, मोटे pearl, ऐसा makeup, वैसा makeup. God.
I know this personal project wala jo space hota hai, that's where you realize a lot of my wedding related on spot promptness that I have. I think so it is very vice versa. The promptness that I have to be at a wedding shows up on my personal projects, and personal projects mein jo level of detailing hoti hai, that shows up in my wedding related work. Very recently I did this fashion shoot for a brand, Geisha Designs, which was it was
Is it up?
yeah, it is up, it is up.
I can pull it up.
One जिसमें वो dancing वाला है, all the dancing model shots.
Oh yeah, I remember. Right.
Yes, this shoot was pretty much all. In fact, when I was working with this brand also, the way I was directing it, they were surprised कि generally fashion people are not this directorial. But I told them that I come from a weddings background where I have people who do not know how to pose. So I have to keep my
Yeah. So you have to be
like
very clear with your instructions.
yeah. So this is a shoot which I was able to pull off in just 3 hours because I was so prompt and apt with my directorial game that okay, jump and
This
look
is
here.
very nice.
But these are shots which the brand did not approve of. Like this is a shot which I have put on my version, but if you see their page, it is mostly like this is what they like, where it is like model, the dress, this is something which they sort of did not approve of. This did not make the cut. The
Why? This is showing the flow of their dress so well.
cut did not make the cut.
But ठीक है,
So
मतलब like obviously
yeah,
when you're designing your stuff, तो sorry. So when you're
yeah,
designing your stuff, you have certain vision in your head, and it's not that.
whole shoot I was able to do only in the set amount of time was A, because I was using a mirrorless camera. I really credit the camera for this a lot. This was one of the first shoots that I did completely on off camera.
Hmm.
This was all shot on artificial light, and this was one of the shoots where on spot, pretty much I took the call of yeah. So this is what
So
went
this
on
is
there.
you. This is what you've taken.
Yes. Yes.
But why
This
haven't you posted this? This is so nice.
this is Genelia. This I did not shoot.
Acha, oh. Ah, wait.
ये
I think I
नीचे है
found
नीचे.
some.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what they posted finally.
पर ये भी अच्छा है यार, ऐसी बात नहीं है.
हाँ, like they did whatever they could, like
No, no,
whatever.
they have posted your stuff also.
Oh, thank God.
हाँ हाँ, अरे बाबा, like. But this is so nice. You were able to add to the original brief also.
Yes. So this is how, like, all the level, all the personal shoots that you have done over the time. This was one of those shoots where I could actually, connect all the dots. That okay, उस shoot पे मैंने ये सीखा था, इस shoot पे हमने ये सीखा था. Like the railway station shoot was where I formally learned how to work with a model. You really need to know your game to work with a model. Otherwise, you cannot do justice to fashion shoots. You need to have your way to work with a model. Uh, the railway station shoot is where I learned that. Then there were some other shoots where I did where I really understood कि okay अभी कुछ कहानी है नहीं but बनानी पड़ेगी. डिजाइनर्स बोलते बहुत कुछ है फोन पे बट इन दी एंड होता कुछ नहीं है. कहानी.
Oh God. This is also a nice personal project that you have done.
In fact, imagine this. I did this shoot with this planner. This Sakshi is a very good makeup artist. The girl with ideas is a planner,
Okay.
and the girl with ideas,
Oh, the
Sakshi.
girl with ideas is the corporate wedding one, right?
Yes, the girl with ideas is a wedding planner. Plus, she does amazing floral stuff. So she's like, "Hey, I'm
हाँ.
turning 5. My brand is turning 5. I wanted to do something. Trust
Hmm.
me, just this call that hey Simran, I wanted to do. My brand is turning 5. I want to do something." I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, ठीक है करते हैं. So मैं ये छोटा सा फ्लोरल सेटअप कर रही हूँ. तो बता you'll shoot it. Like हाँ हाँ बिल्कुल ठीक है I'll do it. So the moment she said floral setup ऐसा, तो I was like स्टूडियो में शूट कर रहे हो क्या? तो कहती हाँ करना तो चाहिए. तो मैं स्टूडियो ढूंढ के देती हूँ ना आपको. I found this
Hmm.
studio. Then the moment she said okay fine I have budget for a studio. Then she is like a floral कर ही रहे हो तो मॉडल भी बुला ही लो ना. I have something
Hmm.
very very interesting. So I knew Sakshi, who's the makeup artist. And I called her up and just said that, hey, Sakshi, listen, there's something really very interesting. I know girl with ideas. मुझे पता है वो बहुत interesting काम करेगी. So you
Hmm.
want to be part of it.
This grid
And,
is so nice.
and Sakshi was like, हाँ शादियों से तो बोर हो ही गए. Plus I you will shooting तो कुछ अच्छा ही निकल जाएगा. चलो करते हैं. All of this was just like this. And
Hmm.
we did. It was just one WhatsApp call, 50, 60 messages,
Hmm.
sorted.
No, very nice. Yeah.
I did this shoot. Then, because it
Oh.
was in the floral zone, then Geisha Designs, they do Geisha florals also. They
अच्छा.
have a brand called Geisha Rose that is purely into floral designing.
हाँ.
Right? So I did this shoot. I'll tell you how to, I'm giving a very clear insight, that how one shoot leads to another shoot if you are proactive enough. So I
Hmm.
did with Girl with Ideas. And then because it was all floral, so Geisha Rose popped up on my Instagram account.
Hmm.
I'll show people what Geisha Rose is.
Wait, I'll open it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it.
So Geisha Rose, if you scroll down, so you'll see they had done a recent shoot, which was also very similar to what I had done with Sakshi and Girl with
Oh yeah,
Ideas.
this.
Yeah, this popped up on my feed, and I just DM'd them that hey guys, really good stuff. I love the floral setup, and I sent them my reel. That look, this is
हाँ.
what I have done recently, and I see a very similar, very a big
Similar
similarity between
aesthetic.
similar aesthetics in between what not being Elu over here totally
Hmm. Hmm.
like sending DM so is like an art.
Hmm.
I saw their picture and I'm like, wow, floral stuff. People, I have done something like this. I have a reel that is ready. So it
Yeah.
popped up my account and I saw their profile. I really like their aesthetics. I'm like, yeah, this is the team I need to connect with. मेरे जैसा ही काम
Hmm.
करते हैं. मतलब वो
Hmm.
vibe check का पता चल जाता है. And I sent out a DM that, hey, I like this shoot and this is something which I have also done. I
Hmm.
think so. Talk once. You never know. बात करके देखते हैं.
Yeah,
And
you never know.
I sent out that DM that okay, let's talk once. They
Hmm.
replied. They replied and they were like, yeah, this is good. We're planning one more floral shoot. So see if you want to be a part of it. And
Hmm.
then I was okay, this is interesting. So send me what you have in mind. What they sent me as a initial idea deck was nothing that we shot out for.
Hmm.
जो yeah, finally this dancing one is something which we had not planned. It actually happened on set. I was not prepared for the shoot at
Also,
all.
like you were not supposed to make them dance. Is that what you're
They
saying?
it had it in their mind when they sent me the pitch idea deck. It had some dancing shots which I had disregarded. I was like, listen guys, this is way out of my league और level का आपको चाहिए. I don't think so I'll be able to. Then
Hmm.
they were like, "Okay, कोई बात नहीं सिमरन, just come over on spot, कुछ भी जैसा भी अच्छा होगा
Yeah,
we
trusting. They like ये कर लेगी इसको पता नहीं है बस.
I don't know. Dancing one, I was not prepared. I was
Yeah.
on on shoot. I learned how to use Chrome lights by a YouTube tutorial because I reached 2 hours पहले. I had not shot with Chrome lights पहले. They
Hmm.
said कि ये जो भी यहाँ पर फोटोग्राफर आता है ना वो ये इस कैमरे भी फिट हो जाता है और ये ऑटोमेटिक है तो आप इसको चला के देख लो.
Hmm.
This is and I was like, I'm not shot with these lights. मैं on spot YouTube के tutorials देख रही हूँ how to use Chrome lights.
Wow. No, but like seeing these photos, it looks like somebody professional was dancing and somebody professional has shot it. Obviously, somebody professional has shot it.
The person who was dancing was very professional. I hats
Huh.
off to her. The amount of Oritra is she's a dancer based out of Noida, and
Hmm.
had the amount of reading I made her do was crazy, but she did it with a smile. But this was lots of learning on like only I know what state of mind I was in when I was shooting it. I had never shot with Chrome lights. I had never shot with a shutter. This was the first time I was using lights plus everything, so this was one shoot when my and all the dots connected. My advertising career, the 5-6 style shoots that I had done for free, the on spot directorial stuff that I give at weddings. This was a shoot where everything. This was a shoot where everything came in together
Hmm.
and just worked. That's it.
Nice.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like you need to keep on doing stuff again and again and again and again and just keep on doing it without expecting much and it will pay off. That's what I've seen in projects.
Hmm.
You don't get paid up but they teach so much more. So much more.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah. But like you sometimes like the kind of projects that you're thinking in your head, you never know like where it leads you. तो मतलब करने में कोई मतलब ऐसे कर लो बस like.
Yeah, personal projects is totally you as a photographer giving a statement, a very strong statement that don't be in that zone. Oh, मैं ये करना चाहती हूँ. You have
हाँ. Yeah, you
things.
can't keep waiting for the right
Yes,
people to come in and be like कि ओ आपने कुछ सोचा हुआ है हम ये करना चाहते हैं तो चलो करते हैं जो भी आपने सोचा हुआ है it will never
it
happen.
will never.
हाँ.
And that's what I realized with personal projects when I started doing all of this fashion stuff. I've seen this that there have been times where you have to just go ahead and relentlessly be very ziddi and you
Hmm.
that stubborn person that I want to do this. I know it will not get paid off. मेरी इस पे बहुत ज्यादा मेहनत लगने वाली है, because doing these style shoots take the life out of you. तुम
Yeah.
इतना पर्सनल प्रोजेक्ट शादियों पे और वेडिंग असाइनमेंट पे उतना नहीं फोकस करते हो जितना space of head and heart these projects take for you.
Yeah, because like at this time you are managing everything, like
You don't have anyone to
from
blame.
how it is looking to how it is lit up and how is it getting composed, what kind of story you're telling, is your brand like the if there are stakeholders involved in this shoot, are their criterias getting satisfied? There are a lot of things that like you need to take care of yourself. मतलब अकेला एक बंदा तो वो obviously फर्क पड़ ही जाता है. मतलब even though you have a team who's taking care of small aspects of the whole thing, but the entire picture depends on you.
Yeah, you really cannot be in that zone कि oh the client wasn't ready on time, या makeup artist ने late कर दिया, या पंडित जी ने late कर दिया. You don't have anyone to blame. This is purely you as an artist. If you are not able to reach or meet a certain level of expectation, it's just you, nobody else. You lack. That's, I mean, I think so. My biggest takeout from personal projects is this, that mostly, it has helped me be a more informed artist. That, this is what I want to do and this is what I do not want to do. It's,
Exactly. That gives you a lot of perspective in
yeah,
terms of uh, what what should be your portfolio looking like in future. And also I would say it for me, most of my personal projects have given me confidence, especially
confident.
that confidence that I can execute, I can plan, I can think, and I can execute something from scratch. And it looks good
I
also.
I create stuff. That is a superpower. That is
Exactly.
a superpower.
Exactly. And that confidence, and also it helps me, hone a lot of my weak points like posing, emoting, directing, composing, all these things. वो थोड़ा सा उसमें ना literally like there are a lot of things that you cannot do while you're shooting weddings. Case in point, because like there are a lot of things that are not in your control.
Hmm.
Sometimes people don't have time, sometimes things are not right, sometimes you're not getting the light right light, sorry, right light. So but ye type ke shoots mein you have everything in control. So like what is stopping you in from doing creating the best thing that you would want to create?
And the other thing also, like, I don't know, this embarking more and taking these personal projects, or probably, putting these personal projects at a priority list on my to do things,
Hmm.
has made me go ahead and be that person who takes that extra step in, thinking more about my business journey.
Yeah.
It really does that, because I will not just focus on doing work now. I'll focus on getting work. I'll focus on networking more. I'll focus on purposely going out there and reaching out to people and pitching about myself first. People take
Yeah.
your idea, they buy you first. There have been so many times where people have just gone ahead and been a part of my personal shoots because they're like, अरे सिमरन तू है कुछ ना कुछ करी. Exactly.
Yeah, and also there are a lot of mere liye especially in this, because there are a lot of stories that sometimes you want to tell, but
Hmm.
especially weddings where you don't get that kind of circumstances, or uh, time nahi milta hai, or whatever, like वो हो जाता है. So but right now, like for example, I would give example to this before we wrap up, like this
Hmm.
specifically.
Oh, yeah.
I I had
गर्मी
seen
बहुत.
this. मतलब 4-5 दिन से मैं एक तो obviously because I was in Goa for a very long time, and I was seeing these wedding dresses hung up at a laundry since मतलब 5-6 दिन से मैं रोज देख रही हूँ कि वेडिंग ड्रेसेस हंग अप है, ठीक है। और फिर मतलब हम लोग एक जगह से गुजर रहे हैं, आई एम लाइक आई रियली नीड टू क्रिएट अ फोटो ओवर हियर। आई टोल्ड माय फ्रेंड सुबह सुबह, मैं कहा अपना काम खत्म कर, मेरे को एक फोटो लेना बहुत जरूरी है। So this was literally because this photo was asking me, begging me to make.
या मेकअप करके आप पूरा दिव्या।
नहीं, see, Divya and Vahi, they are my permanent subjects. They now तो they don't even ask me also. I tell them कि भाई मुझे एक फोटो लेना है, and they know like what to do.
ये देखना आ जाता है, लुक देना ना, कि ये भी कला है।
अब 15 साल से लगे हुए हैं मेरे साथ यार. They're my subjects since 15 years now.
Tell them, हाँ, look into the camera, ये
See,
भी एक
this
style।
photo, it was just like asking me every day. जब भी मैं उस जगह से गुजरती थी ना, मैं ऐसा होता था कि यार लाइक ये लाल कपड़े रोज टंगे हुए होते थे, कोई रैंडम वेडिंग ड्रेस रोज टंगी हुई होती थी, मैं कैसे फोटो ना बनाऊं?
Nice, nice. I like this concept a lot.
Yeah,
Divya's house getting done. I want to see that painting which she's been working on since forever.
same.
I am interested in that.
Yeah.
Nice. Pure portraiture, na? That's what you are choosing to focus on.
हाँ, मतलब like see, I am very much interested in honing my emotion, like emoting the kind of emotion I want to showcase through my photos, and I am very much interested in working on my the layers that I can add in my story.
Portraits. Fake
Yes.
portraits.
Yeah, because like something like this,
Hmm.
this photo, it has a lot of layers, and this is what I want to achieve in my work.
Hmm. Nice.
जब तुम इस फोटो को देखते हो, तुम्हारे दिमाग में 10 तरीके की चीजें आती हैं.
Like questioning that, okay, this is
हाँ.
like you, anybody who's seeing it will have an opinion, good, bad, whatever, but will have an opinion, which
Yeah,
is the important thing I want from a photo.
exactly.
हम बाद में बात करें. If it can generate an opinion, that means कुछ तो है उसमें बात.
Hmm. So yeah,
Nice.
I think we can wrap up now. We have covered all our bases.
Yeah, we should wrapping it. Personal projects का तो is now I've reached at that level where I play just the DM game. And Instagram, thanks to the algorithm, oh, you start connecting with the people, it just keeps on recommending those kind of people.
Exactly. No, DM and WhatsApping and finding people through. Acha, let me connect to that person. Maybe they will know that somebody like that. वो चीज तो मतलब
And
that is your rampant to do
would
things.
you, like, I don't know, should we hit on this topic or it's too late now? I think so. We should wrap it on. Like, do you
भाई
want
1.5 घंटा
to?
हो गया.
Yes, let's wrap it up. We'll take
We can always do a part 2. I feel there's a
fun.
lot of things.
Yeah,
Sudhir
personal.
Sawant is saying, can you review my profile?
We are no one to review, man. Please don't
नहीं
make
कैन, अब वो पूछ रहा है यार, ऐसे थोड़ी ना कर सकते कि भाई मत करो.
reviews are personal, man. Sudhir Sawant.
हाँ, you'll be like कि
Okay, do we have questions? Who all have there? Too many people who have waved and no questions as such, right?
हाँ नहीं, बस इसी ने ही पूछा. I've been keeping an eye.
Okay, cool.
I've opened it.
Oh, should we do it live here?
ठीक है यार, उसने पूछा अभी.
Okay, you're good, Sudhir. बढ़िया, अच्छे.
I think you recently started doing it. That's what he was saying. So I feel that is that shows that you've started recently doing it, and it also shows the transition from you know like
Yellow
you started and
here.
you're somewhere there now, and the compositions and the kind of emotions that you're getting out of people, it is showing.
Yes. I think so, Sudhir. You just need to start. You just need to keep on doing it more and more and
हाँ
more.
मतलब रास्ता बहुत लंबा है. Okay, there's Alia Bhatt now. Huh?
No, I think so. That's the thing. The more you do, the more you start getting bored, and it's very important to hit that boredom because
Hmm.
only then you push yourself further. कि अरे ये नहीं करना है मुझे अब क्या करें फिर. And I think so. That's the major thing that has always been with me. The more
Hmm.
be about that this isn't working for me.
Hmm.
What only then you'll realize and you'll find ways to think of stuff that okay, this if I do this, it'll work. It'll work for me.
Hmm.
So let's call it off now.
Yes.
Let's do a poll. I think so for everyone who's been a part of it. I think so we'll be showcasing both me and Aishi will be showcasing snippets of personal projects that we have done. And
Yes,
do you
I'll
want?
be posting those sari photos of
Yeah,
Vadi, which I have never posted.
we should do. Post
Yeah,
the. I think
lot of personal projects we showed today, like during the
yeah.
live also. Yeah.
Let's let's do a session of stories. Like I'll be posting all that I had done, and probably
Hmm.
in time, then probably we can just do some audio bites or video bites in between also. That how I landed up with this project. This landed to
Hmm.
this. So everyone, thanks for joining us. Tomorrow we both will be showcasing our personal projects on our stories. If you want to do posts, please be happy with it. Do that, please. I would love to see them on a post being there.
Yeah.
Stories though. Okay. That's it for this week. Bye. Good
Okay. Bye. Thank you for joining.
night. Bye.